Hi, guys. Welcome to another episode of the Beauty Pop Podcast. I'm Victoria.
And I'm Jen.
And today we're going to talk about some fashion. We've been doing a lot of makeup and skincare and beauty and stuff, but today, Jen and I love fashion. We love shoes.
We do.
We love shoes. We almost had matching shoes accidentally a couple years ago. Well, now it's coming up on 1 year. The first time we actually got to meet in person at the Gracie Awards in Beverly Hills, and we had like the exact same shoes.
Yeah, except you
were
the same
braver.
designer
Dress.
Isn't that funny? I know.
Yeah.
It's so weird. We should have known we were destined to do this podcast together because
I know, right?
we both had Mac
Same
Google
taste.
on, and we both had the same shoes, except I was the wimp and had the block heel. You had a much braver heel than I did.
I'm happy to talk about shoes because those shoes, which were by Badgley Mischka,
they were cute.
We're going to be real because I don't like it when people are like, "Oh, they're Badgley Mischka." No, they're Badgley Mischka for Macy's.
Right, the Macy's
There's a
brand.
Big difference. Yeah. I think they're called Bejeweled or something by Badgley Mischka. It doesn't matter.
They're really cute though.
They're very pretty when they're on a shelf. They're beautiful. They are horrific to wear. I still have nightmares. Remember, I didn't even admit to you for like 3 weeks that I lost feeling in three toes?
You lost your feet. Because remember, I was like, oh my God, because you're still going. Like, I was great. My shoes, and let me give a shout out to, I think this is so embarrassing because I swear I'm not that old, but I think they were like Naturalizer or something, but they were really cute. They were beaded.
They looked just like mine. They were beautiful. They had like rhinestones on them. They were gorgeous.
And they were probably like a 2 or 3 inch heel, but it was the block heel. And the block heel, I think it was a 3 inch heel, but it was a block heel. So I don't mind doing the height. That doesn't bother me, but the block heel makes all the difference. And I have to host a lot of stuff for my job. And there is nothing worse than when people are staring at you and you're on uncomfortable shoes because they know, like, you can see when someone's like really pinched.
And as a woman, you can feel another woman's pain, right?
So I have to, this is just a current thing that I saw. I love Mindy Kaling, and I know you do too. And she was just at the White House. She was honored with like a Medal of Arts award or something.
She better stop losing weight.
She is so skinny.
She's getting so skinny.
I feel like she's not even the same Mindy. She is so thin.
She's made jokes about Ozempic. I don't really think she did it, but I don't know.
I don't know either because it came off and it came off pretty fast. But
it did. 40 pounds.
And she's very thin now. And I was watching, she posted some pictures and I think she brought her kids, which you never get to see their face. It's always like, I saw the back of 2 children. So I would imagine those are her kids.
Right.
But, and you know, of course you're geeking out. I don't care who you are, who's in the White House. When you go to the White House, it's a pretty big deal, I think. And so she's taking pictures. Yeah, right? She got the Medal of Arts. It was a bunch of people. They give out the medal every so often.
That's a huge honor.
Presidential Achievement in Arts or something. And so she gets the medal. And she's wearing this beautiful like purple dress and she's got this vibrant pink coat on and these really pretty like lavender purple shoes. But the heels on them, Victoria, I swear they must have been 6 inches. They were so tall and the skinniest little heel. And I know she's lost weight, so she's carrying around less, but she's showing herself walking up the stairs. And I kind of winced, even though the shoes are beautiful, but I winced as I was watching her walk up the stairs because I'm like, that can't be, those shoes cannot be comfortable. I don't care who you are. But they were beautiful. She looked great.
The Badgley Mischka ones that I bought for last year's event, they are still sitting in my closet because I don't know
Can you ever put them back on because you have PTSD?
I have such nightmares. I don't know what to do with them. I mean, I know the easy answer is just, we'll donate them to Goodwill. And I give a lot of clothes and stuff away to Goodwill. I just did like 2 bags of stuff. I don't know. I just feel like I don't know. Maybe there's a part of me that's still hoping that I could give them a second chance at some point.
Well, it depends on if you go to something where you're sitting. You know, if you're sitting more often.
Right.
It's just, we sat during our awards thing, but, you know, there was the cocktail hour, there was the red carpet, there was the pictures, and there's the after stuff, which is a lot of standing. But I think you could totally do it again if you wear them to like dinner or something like that.
Yeah.
Maybe.
So I think maybe I will keep them because they are really, really pretty. Mm-hmm. And but I still, the PTSD comes in for my 3 toes that pieced out for 3 weeks. I mean, it was 2 full weeks actually, where like 3 of the toes, I was like, I am getting concerned now because I can't feel them.
You're like thumping on them with your finger. Wake up.
I was like, this is not good. So anyway, so we are
and
talking
so
about
our story of shoes begins.
Yes, exactly. So we are talking about shoes. So yesterday, this is being published the day we're recording this. So yesterday, meaning Wednesday of this week, I went into Manhattan with my mom, and we're down at the Jersey Shore now. So it's like an hour and 15 away from the city. And we had some time to kill before we were seeing a Broadway show. And so we had some
What'd you
time to
see?
kill. Well, okay, here's the long and the short of it. We had tickets to see Funny Girl.
Oh, great.
Which is like the best show on Broadway right now. It's an insane. Everyone just is obsessed with it. Leah Michele, who is the star of Glee, is playing the lead in the role. So we had this wonderful lunch by Central Park, and then we wandered into Bergdorf's and went right to the shoe department, which I'll get back to in a second. Then we hopped in a cab, went to the theater. We're online, ready to check in, and we find out Leah Michele's son had been rushed to the hospital, and she was not performing.
No.
Which I hope her son, he's only 2, and she put out an Instagram post saying, this was a very scary health situation. I can't do the performances. I have to be here in the hospital, whatever.
And you understand, but you're still disappointed. I get it. Like, you're not a horrible person for feeling like that.
And a lot of people, I felt bad for the people who were from out of town.
Yeah, who can't come back.
What's your option?
Yeah.
The understudy, Julie Benko, is by all accounts fantastic. But you're paying the premium for Leah Michele.
Of course.
So my mom was like, well, what do you think? Because my mom felt bad that I had arranged this whole day and that, we drove into the city. And she was like, well, what do you think? Should we just, see the understudy? And I didn't want to blow, because this was my mom's Christmas gift. So I didn't want to blow the thing. But I was like, Mom, I didn't pay $450 to see an understudy. I'm sorry, but no, we're coming back. You're going to love Leah Michele. It's going to be great. So I just rebooked us for 2 weeks from now. And I hope that her son is okay. And I hope we don't have to, go through anything. Anyway, back to Bergdorf's. So it was wonderful. I love Bergdorf's. It's my favorite department store on the planet. And they have an incredible shoe section. And so I was wandering through because I knew we were going to talk about shoes today. And I wanted to see what's really, what's out for spring, and lots and lots of color.
I was going to say, I think color to me is the huge trend. I've seen a ton of color and neons too, which makes 90s Jen very excited because I love it, but a lot of bright colors.
Right. And you know what? I love that for spring. I feel like we haven't really had, I feel like this is the first spring in the last 3 years, because we've been indoors since March of 2020. So this is the first spring where everyone's out and we're living a normal life again, and everyone's, shopping, and you can have fun with fashion again because you actually can go places.
Yeah, people will see you.
You're not just wearing sweatpants for 3 years.
Right.
So it was really nice, to just wander, you hit the shoe department and you're just like, oh my God, it's neon orange, neon green, neon pink, every bright color you can imagine. And the shoes, I have to say, are very pretty. You know how some seasons you're like, those are really ugly shoes.
I know. The clunkers.
I don't like ugly shoes. I like, I can do a lug sole, and I like my Doc Marten boots that I've had since I was in 6th grade. That's fine. But when I want to wear heels, I want pretty shoes.
Yeah, I agree with you.
It was really nice to see so many beautiful styles. One of the things that I did notice, though, and this is where I'm going. These are my new shoes that I just got.
Oh.
These are okay. So Jennifer
Have you
Lopez,
learned nothing from your experience at the award?
I knew you were going to say that. But I couldn't help it. These are beautiful.
They're gorgeous. They're beautiful.
It's okay. So Jennifer Lopez this week launched a new shoe collab with Revolve, and it's called J-Lo and Revolve. I mean, nothing fancy. But the interesting thing is, you and I both have said in the past, I've bought J-Lo shoes, the brand J-Lo, from DSW.
I have too, yes.
She was, at one point, a partner with them or a spokesperson or whatever, and she had an exclusive line of shoes. And they were okay,
They were okay. The pair that I have, they were okay. I can't say they were overly comfortable. I can't say that they were overly oh my God. But they were, they were fine. They were fine shoes.
I feel like, weren't they in maybe the $60 to $80 range?
Yeah.
Is that about right?
Probably around $70 or so, probably.
Okay. So her new collaboration with Revolve, I was reading about, she had a big launch party in Beverly Hills this week. I think it was on Monday night or something. And so I jumped online really quick because I was curious to see what the styles were. One thing I can tell you right now, having just been at Bergdorf's, J-Lo is she is right on trend. All of these shoes in her new collection, except that there isn't like a neon. She does that. It's not color.
Yeah.
It's black and crystals and and embellished shoes and silver. But the styles though, including, I don't know if you can see this little chunk heel, the wider at the bottom heel,
it's
how
got
that
a silhouette
tapers down.
So that's like a silhouette heel. So it's probably what, like 3 inches, I think? Maybe 4?
Yeah, it's about 3 inches. Yeah,
and
it's really manageable.
Yeah, it's a skinny heel, but it
gets wider,
flares out at the bottom.
Which makes it easier to walk in.
It does. Makes it more comfortable.
And this heel, and even like and a more exaggerated version of this heel, was on almost every pair of shoes at Bergdorf's. So
no, that's a huge trend.
J-Lo is right on it.
The YSL brand, I don't know if you've seen some of those shoes, but they've actually like carved the YSL brand into some of the heels like that. So it seems almost like a sculptured heel is really in, where it's got the shape to it, which I like, because we went from having really skinny stilettos then to having the chunkier block heel, which, believe me, for comfort, I love. But it's nice to get back to a heel that looks like a heel, but actually
like you're
has
wearing
like
a stiletto.
Yeah, but actually has like a design to it. And also, because you do have that wideness at the bottom, in most cases, it is a little bit more comfortable to walk around on.
Yeah. So I think these are called like the Angelina or the something with an A. I know, it's something with an A. I forget. I was just watching Jersey Shore, so it's on my mind. Something with an A. But they are they are really pretty. They're a black satin shoe. The heel cuff is black satin. The heel itself is black satin. And then around the ankle strap is this, it almost looks like a bracelet. But it's
what's really cool is it's got that long chain, which is also decorative, but you can size it, because that's the thing. If you've got bigger ankles and you go into a store, there are so many shoes where you're like, oh, can I fit my ankle? So that looks very inclusive in the sizing on it.
It is. And the cool thing is, at first I was like, oh, is this going to look cheap? Like, that was my first thought when I opened it. But when I put them on, when I put them on, the little like, whatever you'd want to call, and it even has a little crystal at the very end.
It's really cute. It's like the back of a necklace, just to describe it if you're listening. It's got the chain link like the back of a necklace, and then a little crystal drop at the bottom.
And so that hangs on the inside of your ankle. And it actually adds a little pizzazz to it.
Well, and I would
the rest
also
of the
think,
shoe is plain.
Again, because I always think about what looks more slimming on you. The drop down of that chain on the inside of the ankle, I would think, would draw the line up and down. So probably actually gives you a look of a longer leg too.
It does. And I literally tried them on with black sweatpants pulled up to my knees. So, I mean, it was a look.
Super
it was a look.
Hot.
Super hot.
But in the store, they looked great, right?
Yeah.
All the way up.
So, and that's the other thing. I ordered them online because they're only available online. So, so that was,
it was a kind of try on.
Yeah. So and you never know, that could go either way. But so far, I'm really liking these. The stones that she has on the sides, the rhinestones, start larger, and then they kind of gradually get, like really you said, pretty. Slimmer in the front. So it doesn't give you cankles. Yeah. It's a very forgiving style. Now, I know a lot of people do not like to wear an ankle strap because it cuts your leg. Yeah, right.
And especially if they start to get you can see it's like, that's not a great look,
right,
for people. So, but that looks like you could loosen it up if you have any issues, like if it's a long day or something like that. It looks great.
Yeah, and the fact that there's nothing but just the stones. That really, it gives a very fluid line on your leg and the ankle. So it's not like a black strap around your ankle, where you're like, oh, okay, that's the delineation of where your leg gets chopped off. So so far, and they're actually comfortable. They have I have high arches, and so arches are usually like kind of tough for me with dress shoes, but they actually have like a really nice arch. It's a little bit of padding, which I like.
You can see it. Yeah.
Yeah. And then the other thing is, and this is the difference between DSW and Revolve, right? Revolve is a brand that curates with, collaborators and stuff. And it's a little more high end. There are little touches to these shoes that you'll notice make it much more, you're getting more, you're paying more, but you're getting more. Like having the satin all the way along the side here, that's cheap shoes don't do that. So
you can see right into done.
Yeah. And the other thing is, on the bottom, she has like a roughed up fabric.
Oh, so you don't have to scuff the shoes.
So you don't even need to scuff the shoes.
Love it.
I'm telling you, and I love it's called an almond shaped toe. I just learned that from the description, but I really like the shape of it too. It's not too pointy. It's not too round.
And it's not squared off.
Right.
It's like an almond-shaped nail. It's really pretty.
Yeah. So, and these are $175.
So where are you going to wear them? Do you have plans for those shoes?
We have an event next month in the city, and I have to figure out, this is all I've bought. I don't know what the rest of the outfit is yet, but I have the shoes.
Well, at least they're black, so you can kind of build from there.
I kind of think I want to do like a tuxedo, like the pantsuit thing is really in for daytime or like at night. I kind of think I might do like a tuxedo kind of look with it.
I just had to go to an event. I had to go to a charity event this last weekend, and really funny thing. So I took my friend's kids for Christmas. It was their Christmas gift. Look at us all the time living like synergy.
We deliver Christmas in March. That's what we do.
I gave my friends a Christmas gift to see The Lion King, which is at the Pantages in Los Angeles. Because these kids, we've gotten so old that they haven't even seen The Lion King. They're like, "What is that, Aunt Jen?"
Oh, God.
I'm like, I actually had to scold my friends. I'm like, what kind of children are you raising without these Disney movies?
They don't even know.
Like, what is going on? I don't even know you anymore.
You can skip the princess stuff if you're objecting to it, but The Lion King is a staple. Come on.
So did the theater during the day, and I had zero time to change before this charity event at like 5:30. So I'm like, what am I going to do? And I was told that it wasn't that dressy, but when I looked online and saw some of the pictures from previous years, like people were wearing sequins, which I was not going to do daytime at the Pantages. So I changed in a car, full disclosure, in a restaurant parking lot, which was super classy. But I went with I have these kind of flowy black pants, and I matched them with one of my nicer black suit jackets. And then I had like this little, not sparkly with glitter, but almost just like kind of a satiny muted gold tank that I put on underneath.
Nice.
That's going to be with heels. That's going to be my new go-to. Like, even though it's not a dress, when you have to go to something like that, that's a great investment because, like you said, with the tuxedo look or whatever, you can kind of break that stuff up and add it into your wardrobe without dropping a ton of money on another MacDougall dress, which is, not a terrible amount, but $400 or $500 if you get one of their fancier dresses, maybe even a little more than that. So I decided that's going to be my new go-to. So see, we're lined up on that. Simpatico.
I love that. I love that look. And even in Bergdorf, when we were walking through all the different designer boutiques and stuff, pantsuits, colorful pantsuits, everywhere, from Oscar de la Renta for the older ladies to Stella McCartney, for like, you can picture Zendaya already wearing that, So it's a really, I think so far for spring, I'm really digging the shoes and I'm digging the fashion. I feel like it's a really pretty season. Maybe designers also felt
it could have been scary too, since beauty-wise, the '90s and the early 2000s actually are back, as we've talked about in previous episodes, and it could be scary because if they had gone back to that. But I think you're right. The fashion seems very pretty. It doesn't seem overly young because last year it was all about the puff sleeves and all that stuff, and like you can pull it off sometimes, but it was a more difficult look because you felt like a little girl, like little Bo Peep sometimes. So
and also I noticed less of the cutout stuff.
Thank God.
How like that was a lot, and unless I'll use Zendaya or Kendall Jenner, unless you're built like that, it's not a good look.
Which if I were, I would walk around naked all the time. Like if I were Kendall Jenner, I don't think that I'd put clothes on ever, probably.
I would wear the cutout stuff too, but I know it's just
with a flashing light. Look here, look at my abs.
So it's So I'm very happy that that it was the show obviously will reschedule for 2 weeks, but the Bergdorf trip was a big success.
That's
and
fun.
I'm very happy. And the other thing that I noticed too, unless you're buying, and I do not mind spending money on purses and shoes. I don't really invest that much in clothing because trends change, and where am I going?
Plus, our bodies change a lot too, and what we want. I mean, purses and shoes can be almost forever if you buy.
And
nice
I will
ones.
invest in a designer brand for purses and shoes. But the one thing I noticed, unless you're really a label whore and you want like the G from the Gucci, or you want, you want the Prada, those chunky Prada loafers from the early aughts, they're back. Like if you kept yours, good on you, because they're back. They're fully back. Same shoe. I remember seeing them all over. I was working in Manhattan at the time, and it was like,
I bought a pair and I have not worn them yet.
Oh, well, did you buy them originally? Or
no, I
recently?
bought a pair now because that was like my jam back, and I can't make it make sense right now with my wardrobe. So
I mean, it's unless you do like flowy black pants, with the chunky loafer.
But I really, when I do my flowy pants.
That doesn't seem like you, though.
That
doesn't feel like
when
you.
I do my flowy pants, I need a thin heel underneath. I don't need, I don't know.
You're dressier than that.
Yeah, I tried it. And of course, I never returned it. So they're just sitting there staring at me going, what did you do? It was probably wine shopping. I was probably like, oh my God, those are so cute. I had those when I was 20. And then I probably added them to my cart. And then now they're just sitting in my closet going, here we are.
Yeah. So, but my point though is unless you really want that label showing, the rest of the shoes from the designers in the shoe department, and I've seen, I looked online at Saks and Bloomingdale's and stuff. It's kind of all the same. You could easily, if you want to spend the money, go ahead.
Yeah.
But there are so many good dupes out there, and not even dupes. You don't even need to find like a carbon copy. You can just go to the JLo collab and
it's going to look
all
great.
the same styles, and you can spend under $200 as opposed to, however much you want to spend $1,000 on designer shoes.
Totally. Yeah, there are some years where the cheaper brands are not as cute, but I've seen just personally, and I haven't even really been out to the mall or to the stores or anything, but just looking online, kind of my routine, I've seen a lot of really cute shoes. I love the beading. I love the color. And the other thing that I'm seeing a ton of, I don't know if you have, but have you noticed there's a lot of plastic this year, like clear elements, which I thought I was going to hate until I bought a pair of shoes that I really like. 2 simple, tiny, clear straps on like kind of a tan colored bottom. It looks really cute. And it's very flattering.
A lot of naked foot. Yeah.
Totally. It looks like a naked foot, but it gives you a little elevation so your leg looks better up. I really like those shoes. I'm excited for it to stop like raining buckets in Los Angeles so that I can actually
so put them on and cute shoes again. One of the other things that I did notice, which is also kind of exactly what you're saying, it with like the naked kind of foot look.
Yeah.
A lot of the shoes at Bergdorf had the clear plastic, whatever, whatever the shape of the shoe. Some were a full-on pointed toe, which to me, if you're wearing clear plastic, like it fogs up.
Yeah, it has
heat.
to.
It does.
I'm so glad you said this.
Right? Like that's a weird look to me. So if you're going to do the clear plastic thing, I would say ventilation is your friend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My
but they were also very a lot of the acrylic, I think I'm calling it acrylic because I'm assuming
it's call it plastic. But
plastic, right?
The clear stuff. Yeah.
So they used to be stripper shoes, let's be honest.
Totally, with the goldfish on the inside, remember?
Yeah, they used to be stripper shoes. But now they're in Bergdorf's and they're embellished with lots of different colored rhinestones. So if you want to do like a naked kind of foot, but you don't really want to fully be naked, then you can opt for some of the rhinestone embellishment on it, which I'm assuming would probably look really pretty. We saw it a lot on celebrities on the red carpet this award season.
Do you get the emails from Good American, Khloe Kardashian's brand?
No, I have not done Good American yet. I really feel like I should.
I know this was a whole nother episode. I'm all over the place today, but you know what? Whatever. Here we are. We're just chatting. This is what happens.
Our podcast. Who cares?
We can do whatever we want. So I actually really like the Good American jeans, and there's a new one that they just launched that I just tried that I have to give a thumbs up to. It's their, can't remember what it's called, and I don't have it in front of me, but it's their ever fitting one where basically it's 3 sizes. So you can shift between sizes essentially, and it's going to fit 14, 16, 18, or it's going to fit. So, and because of this great technology, I turned my mom onto these jeans. Even my mom now has cute jeans from Good American. So highly recommend them for the jeans, but, and they're a little pricey, but they are worth it. The one pair, I have 2 pairs now. The first pair that I got a few years ago, they have lasted forever. I've washed them a lot. The stretch and it fits really nicely. And they have a lot of different cuts. So bootleg is back. They have a lot of flare. Or
Lots
you can do
flare.
the old. Yeah, you can do the old skinny jean as well. But I really like those jeans a lot. I give them a high praise. But they have shoes. And these shoes, I swear, they're like Cinderella's slipper. The first one they launched was like a clear blue, what you're talking about, the pointy toe with like these gems all over them, the crystals. Absolutely gorgeous. And I actually showed them to my mom, like, I need these shoes. And she's like, are you nuts? Like, what are you going to do with these shoes? I know. Yeah. I need these shoes. They've expanded that line now. And now I think this season they've got the blue and the clear still, but they also have like this really pretty, like, kind of emeraldy green. They've got a pink. So check it out. Look at their clear shoes. But when I looked at them, and I kind of laughed at myself for even liking them, because they're notice me shoes. They're very high heels. They've got the crystals everywhere, the clear, but see-through, but colorful material. I was laughing at myself going, who are you? Like, you're never going to wear these anywhere. This isn't like real life. These aren't real life shoes, but they're beautiful. And then I was thinking, your foot must stink so bad. Like, there is in these ones that are pointy, especially, there's you're right, no ventilation. Like, I remember as a kid having jelly shoes, and your foot would sweat profusely in
Absolutely.
them.
I hated jelly shoes as a kid. Oh, I hated
love
them.
that you bring up the condensation, because you're going to get little bits of fogging and stuff, and that's no longer sexy. That's not hot.
Not cute. What's the price point on the Chloe shoes?
They're probably about $150, $175, I would think.
All right.
The good thing about Good American is that if you go onto their website, there is always a save $50 coupon. So whether it's sign up for the email list or give them your phone number, so you can pretty much always save $50 on whatever you get at Good American. The jeans are where it's at, but it's worth checking out the shoes just for fun, since we've now.
I know. I'm very curious to see them now.
Yeah, they're pretty cute.
Cool. Nice.
My princess shoes.
Okay, so now we're going to move on to something on streaming that I have not seen on Netflix, but you're going to tell us if this is worth seeing or not, right, Jen?
Okay,
what is this called?
Well, whenever I have time to watch TV, I get super excited to tell you about it, because I feel like you are our official TV person. You watch it all.
Only because I have more time than you.
And so this weekend I had a little bit of time on Sunday, and I had heard on Netflix about the special, the docuseries on MH370. And
that was a flight, right?
Yeah.
Plane
Malaysian Airlines
stuff freaks me out a little, but yeah.
It should. So this is Malaysian Airlines, the flight that went missing, that just dropped out of the sky. No one knew where it went. The families, there's never been a body recovered. It disappeared. It disappeared.
No wreckage, nothing.
Nothing. Well, there's been wreckage, but people haven't been able to confirm if it was actually the Malaysian Air wreckage.
And this is not the plane that Russia shot down, right?
No, because that was 4 months later, the same Malaysian airline, it was Malaysian Airlines. 4 months after the plane disappeared, then Russia actually did shoot one down, and I think it was over Ukraine, actually.
Yeah,
and
that sounds right, yeah.
They lost that flight too. So that was a really bad time for Malaysian Airlines. I think the only reason they're probably still around is because the government, I think, is involved in running it. But when I saw
that makes
they had
me just go, I'm going to fly United if I ever need to go to Malaysia.
Or maybe just never fly over this area. So I thought I'm into the docuseries. I'm fresh off the Murdoch one. I've been watching a lot of these. So I thought I'm going to sit down and watch this, because the world, if you remember, that was when CNN and news, especially 24-hour news, switched full gear into more salacious stuff, because people became addicted to these stories.
Well, so, and this is, I'm not making light of this at all, because they were horrific, but there were just multiple plane crashes and plane incidents. And at the time, one of my good friends, my friend Brett, was a tech reporter, and he did spots on CNN.
Yeah.
He got bumped constantly because they were just doing this nonstop plane crash coverage.
CNN actually got made fun of, on SNL and stuff, because they went
It was the plane crash channel. It was
totally.
It was
and I can remember this. I was in Antigua that year. My cousin and I had gone to Antigua on vacation. And I remember in the hotel room, all they had, the only channel that was a normal American channel was CNN. So that was the only thing we'd put on, and it was just Malaysian Air. So thought, all right, let's see what's new about this. And there have been many theories. I've heard that there were people from China on the flight who had cloaking devices.
Oh,
that was beneficial to someone in war, because you could make people disappear, essentially. That's why the plane disappeared. There were people saying it was shot down, people saying it crashed. One of the theories was that the pilot just crashed it because he was either a terrorist or suicidal, or a lot of theories. But what was really interesting about it, and I have to say the first episode was the best, because they just kind of told you all the facts. And that's when then they started going to the three most well-known theories. One is that the pilot was either probably radicalized or suicidal and crashed the plane. The second, much harder to believe, is that there were Russians on board the flight. One of them snuck down into the electric bay, which you'd have to crawl into the floor in one of the galleys to like reprogram
like
the
someone
plane.
would see you, meaning like,
right.
Yeah, you're pulling apart the plane.
You're literally going into the underbelly
you.
of the plane in first class. Like it's really hard to imagine that could happen. But that they flew it and that Russia either crashed it or shot it down or they took it down. And then there was another theory that was about the Americans actually taking it down because there were people there, and this is proven, there were a lot of battery and equipment that was going to China. And so they say the Americans didn't want China to have it and they took the plane down. So those were the three main theories. But what I thought was so interesting, and this is what weirded me out, and they glossed over it. I don't believe any of those things happened because I actually think the plane didn't go down or the people didn't die when it was supposedly happening. When people woke up the next morning, when the family members of the passengers woke up and they realized that their loved ones didn't make it, it was from Kuala Lumpur to Beijing. They started calling their cell phones because there was no report of a crash. The plane was just missing. So of course,
naturally, that's what you would
do.
If
your husband's on the flight or your mother, you're going to call the cell phone. So calls the cell phone. Every passenger had the same experience. The cell phones rang. I get goosebumps thinking about this. The cell phones rang, and one woman even got a call back from her cell phone. And you can see it says Papa, missed call Papa. And that's how she had her father in the phone. No one was on the other end when she answered it. But what the heck, like that, it just gives me goosebumps thinking about it. So what the heck happened to these people? The plane disappeared off of the radar. I mean, just completely disappeared.
Yeah, I remember that now.
And there are 3 different ways that planes communicate with the ground so that they're backup upon backup upon backup so that you always stay in touch. And all 3 of them were shut down at the same time. Now, if it crashed or if it was shot down, you would think that the cell phones would not be ringing. And if it was in a remote area, as they suggest,
or
wouldn't
if the
be near cell phone towers.
Right. And if the cell phone, if it went into the water,
it would be destroyed. There would be no ringing.
Yeah, so, it would just go right to voicemail.
It's a really good documentary, even if you just watch the first one, because there's a lot of weird characters that are in there, because this is a very conspiracy thing, like what happened to it. But when they start going through the facts and you hear the passengers say they made phone calls and the phone calls were going through, little creepy. So it's a good one. It just came out on Netflix because it's the 9-year anniversary of the disappearance.
9 years?
Yeah. And so it was 2014. So they released it this month. It's pretty good. At least give the first episode a watch because that's the one that kind of draws you in. You're like, what the heck was going on here?
I think you sold me on it. I think
Unbelievable.
I'm in. Yeah.
Got to check it out.
I'm in. Wow. Awesome. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for listening to another episode of Beauty Pop. Follow us on Instagram at Beauty Pop Pod. Follow Jen at Jennifer Horn Radio. Follow me at On Air Victoria. And we also are on YouTube. And you can see a lot of our little fashion kind of little videos that we've done talking about like red carpet style and things like that. So, we're actually getting like a lot of views on YouTube with it. So we're going to keep doing that. So if you want to subscribe to the Beauty Pop podcast on YouTube, then you can get more of like a visual experience. And eventually we will both be there as well. We're going to do video podcasts too. So anyway, just want to put in a little plug for that because it's really fun and to have all these videos out there. And we love all the visual content too. So thank you guys so much. And we will talk to you next week.
Bye.